Warren Buffett. Why donate 99%? The story of Warren Buffett is often chronicled through the lens of compounding returns, the relentless pursuit of intrinsic value, and the unwavering discipline that built Berkshire Hathaway into a colossal, almost mythical financial conglomerate. He is the Oracle of Omaha, a man whose pronouncements move markets and whose investment philosophy is studied like scripture. But there is a parallel narrative, far less concerned with quarterly earnings reports and balance sheets, and infinitely more focused on the ultimate destination of this extraordinary accumulation of capital, the unprecedented commitment to divest 99% of his entire net worth. 99%. It is a number so staggering, so absolute in its finality, that it challenges the very foundation of modern capitalism and the accepted norms of dynastic wealth preservation. Consider the context of that percentage. When Buffett first formalized his pledge in the mid-2000s, this represented tens of billions of dollars, a figure that has since swelled exponentially, mirroring the meteoric rise of Berkshire Hathaway stock. This wasn't merely a generous gesture, it was a philosophical statement, a definitive rejection of the inherited aristocracy of capital that his unique genius had placed within his grasp. He built the machine, engineered it for maximum efficiency, and then consciously designed the off-ramp to ensure that the wealth generated would benefit humanity at large, rather than perpetuate a financial dynasty for his descendants. This act of radical, near-total divestment forms the central, compelling paradox of his life. The world's most successful capitalist, intending to execute the world's largest voluntary dispersal of private assets. This massive decision did not emerge spontaneously, nor was it a sudden, sentimental shift in later life. It was a long gestating conviction, meticulously planned, and rooted in a deeply personal, almost idiosyncratic, ethical framework. The first hook that draws us into this profound commitment is the sheer scale of the promised transfer. While other billionaires have engaged in philanthropy, some significantly, Buffett's commitment to the 99% threshold sets him apart. He is not setting aside a portion for charity. He is retaining only the barest sliver necessary for personal comfort, effectively treating his entire fortune beyond that minimum threshold as a temporary holding, a societal resource held in trust until its eventual deployment. The second hook reinforces this scale by contextualizing Buffett's personal economy. Here is a man worth well over $100 billion, yet he still resides in the modest Omaha home purchased in 1958. He forgoes the super yachts, the private islands, and the gilded trappings of the ultra-rich. He drives a functional car, frequents local diners, and measures his personal expenses in units that seem quaint when compared to his net worth. This deliberate dissonance between his wealth accumulation capability and his personal consumption habits is critical to understanding the donation pledge. He genuinely believes that extreme wealth holds negligible marginal utility after a certain point, a personal belief system that allows him to view 99% of his assets not as personal property, but as fungible economic power that must be allocated to maximize global utility. The conflict, therefore, is not with the accumulation of wealth, but with the retention of it across generations. Buffett confronted the traditional assumption that great wealth should automatically cascade down to immediate family members securing their lives for generations to come. This presents the fundamental problem. Why dismantle what he spent a lifetime building? Why deprive his children of potentially limitless financial security? The tension lies in his rejection of the dynastic imperative. Buffett often expressed the belief that leaving children an enormous sum of money is not an act of love, but a curse. He famously stated that he wanted to leave his children enough so that they could do anything, but not so much that they could do nothing. This philosophy is a direct assault on the conventional wisdom that dictates wealth must breed more wealth within the same lineage. To explore this, we must open several critical loops. Firstly, what philosophical epiphany led him to the radical number of 99% rather than 50 or 75? Secondly, how did the influence of his late wife, Susan Buffett, and his partnership with Bill and Melinda Gates solidify this extreme commitment? And thirdly, what precise mechanism, the complex machinery involving Berkshire Hathaway, stock and annual gifts, is being used to execute this transfer while maintaining the integrity and value of the underlying company? The development of this radical, philanthropic vision is intrinsically linked to Buffett's moral compass, which points overwhelmingly toward a concept he termed the ovarian lottery. This is the engine driving his decision. Buffett posits that much of his success is attributable not to superior effort, but to the extraordinary luck of having been born an intelligent white male in the United States at a specific time in history, a beneficiary of the most effective economic and political systems ever created. Had he been born with the same intellect, but in circumstances lacking stability, opportunity, or health, his success would have been impossible because he believes his wealth is largely a product of societal circumstances and historical timing, rather than purely individual merit. He views society as the principal stakeholder in the final disbursement. This concept served as a critical pattern interrupt in his life. It shifted the perspective from "what am I owed" to "what do I owe?" He determined that his role was to steward the capital, to grow it through disciplined investment, and then return it to the societal environment that enabled its creation. This moral duty was further crystallized by his relationship with Bill and Melinda Gates. While Buffett already held strong philanthropic inclinations, it was the structural efficiency and focused mission of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that provided the necessary vehicle. The Gates factor is impossible to overstate. In 2006, Buffett stunned the financial world by announcing his intention to give the vast majority of his fortune, specifically future annual installments of Berkshire Hathaway Class B shares, to 5 foundations, with the Gates Foundation receiving the largest share. This was not a one-time lump sum. It was a highly structured, enduring stream of assets designed to provide funding in perpetuity. Crucially, the shares were restricted, meaning the Gates Foundation had to spend the funds in the year they were received. This stipulation was classic Buffett, focused on efficiency and immediate impact, rejecting the idea of charitable endowments that hoard capital for theoretical future needs. This decision was tactical. Buffett recognized that his own comparative advantage lay in capital allocation, choosing good investments, not in programmatic philanthropy, choosing effective interventions in global health or education. He openly admitted that the Gates Foundation with its dedicated expertise, scale, and scientific rigor, was better equipped to spend the money effectively than he or his own small family foundations. His massive donation was essentially a leveraged investment in the Gates' operational excellence. It was the ultimate delegation. I built the factory. You run the distribution network. The mechanism used for the transfer is a masterclass in complexity management. Buffett donates the actual Berkshire Hathaway stock. As the stock value rises, the size of his annual gift increases proportionally. This structure ensures that the philanthropic spending continues to grow alongside the economic engine he created. The donation is designed to occur incrementally, year after year, until death, and then the remainder is channeled through the mechanism, ensuring that the 99% commitment is honored regardless of when his life concludes. This slow, steady release of capital prevents market shocks while guaranteeing an enduring stream of philanthropic funding. To re-engage with the core motivation, we must return to the utility principle. Why 99%? Because Buffett views capital as a finite resource that must be deployed where it creates the maximum benefit. If his children are already provided for, meaning they have the resources to pursue meaningful careers and live comfortably, insulated from genuine need, any excess capital directed toward them results in diminishing social returns. $1 billion spent on curing malaria, he reasoned, generates far more social good than $1 billion spent on adding another floor to a private estate or funding a perpetual trust. The 99% threshold represents the point where personal provision ends and maximal societal leverage begins. The climax of this philosophical journey lies in the full embrace of the radical idea that the ultimate responsibility of a great capitalist is to ensure their accumulated fortune serves a purpose greater than mere lineage maintenance. Buffett is consciously modeling a new standard for hyperwealth. He is taking the historic critiques of figures like Andrew Carnegie, who believed those who die rich die disgraced, and updating them for the modern era of exponential financial growth. Carnegie argued for the gospel of wealth, the duty of the rich to distribute their surplus wealth responsibly during their lifetimes. Buffett, a man deeply steeped in historical business lessons, is implementing this gospel on a scale unimaginable in the 19th century. He is closing the loop on the question of the 99% by demonstrating that the number is not arbitrary. It is the calculated ratio required to successfully dismantle a fortune while preserving its efficacy. In conclusion, Warren Buffett's commitment to donating 99% of his wealth is not merely an act of charity, it is the final, profound application of his principle of value investing. He is investing in humanity itself, viewing the Gates Foundation and other recipient charities as the most undervalued, highest return opportunities available for non-financial capital deployment. It is the culmination of a life dedicated to meticulous calculation, proving that the accumulation of wealth was merely the first half of the equation. The second, and arguably most important half, is its intelligent, disciplined, and near-total dispersal. This definitive action forces a profound societal reflection. What is the true purpose of extreme wealth? If the architect of the world's most efficient capital machine declares that nearly all of it must be returned to society for immediate use, what does that imply about the moral responsibility incumbent upon every individual who benefits significantly from the structures of free market capitalism, ponder the sheer scale of the opportunity costs involved in the alternatives and consider the enduring power of a legacy defined not by what was kept, but by what was consciously, methodically, and overwhelmingly given away.